live action, choose your own adventure, role-playing game, networking. Oh, I agree with all the digital stuff. I think it's incredibly important to put all those things out there. Yes, social proof is really, really important, but at some point the rubber's going to meet the road and you're going to have to make eye contact with someone and build a relationship. That's what all of you do all the time. My intention here today is to elevate, is to just give you a few more things in your arsenal to be able to build those personal connections and to build them a little bit more quickly and to put, most importantly, the person before the profession. We do business with the people that we know, like, and trust. I do a lot of networking events, and the thing that I've been noticing as of late is it hurts my soul. Because I'm a people person. When people lean in and the first thing they do is, so what do you do? That's like walking up to somebody you're attracted to at a bar and be like, you're cute, let's go make out. It doesn't work that way. Like, we need a little preamble first. We need to get to know each other a little bit first. How about a handshake? How about we just talk about each other's days and just get to know each other?
That's what I'm with.
That's what let's go make out. Let's do this thing. Networking is a choose your own adventure. I truly believe that. Because you have the choice as to how it is you're going to show up. How it is you're going to engage in that conversation. How it is you're going to wrap up that conversation. And what is the impact that you're going to have in those few moments. Because it's all about memorability. So what we're going to dive in today is a small portion of a larger program that we offer through our practice lab. And our practice lab is a 2-day intensive where day one we go even deeper on what we're going to dive into today. And then that evening we go to a network event to put those things into practice. And then the day two, what we do is we sit down and we build out a 90-day intentional business development networking plan specifically designed for you, which means that we're going to put dates on calendars, we're going to put KPIs down, so it's not just like, I hope that this goes well. I went to 20 networking events, and here's my bar tab, and I have nothing else to show for it. That is not a networking plan. Hope is not a plan. So what you're going to experience here today is it's an interactive experience where we're going to practice. That's it. Think of it as what everything's going to happen. I'm going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable and have you do some things like, I don't know about that. And you're going to take some of these things, you're going to take them with you and put them into practice, and it's going to be awesome from here on out. I will literally change the way that you walk into a room. And something I'm going to propose to you, be like, nope, never going to do it. You don't have to. But isn't it nice? I actually had a conversation with a friend of mine. I was pitching this whole thing to him. He's like, I don't know, that whole first part, I got that taken care of. I was like, you're an avid golfer. If a golf pro came up to you and said, hey, I saw you on the putting green. How if I help you take a stroke off your game? You're like, no, actually I'm really great at putting. No, I really don't need any help at all. Thanks so much for my. You wouldn't do that. You'd be like, yeah, whatever knowledge you got, I'll take it. Like, how else can I improve upon this? This is the exact same thing. So open your minds up to just trying something perhaps a little bit different and experience what's going to come out of this. So we're all on board for that? Everybody good to go with that? Good. Fantastic. First things first, when we go networking, what's the one thing that we immediately all do when we walk into a room?
Find our friends.
Find our friends. Right now, all of you are likely sitting next to somebody you already know, like, and trust. It's called the herd mentality. Like, oh, I know who's over here, and I'll talk to them because I know them. It's comfortable. And I agree, you should do that. Do that first to get into a space, make yourself feel comfortable, connect with somebody that you already know, like, and trust. It just makes things a little bit easier. But at some point, strangers. You gotta talk to strangers. So first things first, what I'm gonna have you all do is I'm gonna have everybody stand up. I want you to move to somebody who you do not yet know, somebody you've not met yet, or you have met them, but you don't really know them, and walk up and introduce yourself and bring yourself back to me again. back, bring it back, everybody. Bring it back. Stay with the person you just met. Stay with me. Actually, we'll riff on this. Bring it back, everybody. Bring it on back. Bring it on back. Bring it on back. Thank you so much. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back, everybody. Right, we're going to be doing this a lot. I'm going to be letting you guys loose, have a chance to connect with each other. And I know it's really fun to meet new people, and you guys are doing a great job of it. I'm going to ask you to come back to me. So a little bit of rules of engagement with this is... Hello? Can you guys come back to me, please? Okay. Thank you. Please bring it back. So I want you to stay with the person you just met. That wasn't the exercise just to walk up and shake hands and tell you what you do to change the business card. I want you to stay with that person. I want you to stay with me. I'm going to be setting you loose a lot because this is an interactive experience. But I do ask that I'm going to raise my hand, that you see me raise my hand, that you just wrap up that conversation and bring it back. Because we're likely going to just do a quick debrief. I'm going to move you back into networking because this is an interactive experience. So what I saw a lot of things happening is people walked up and they said they gave their first name, they said like the last name, probably said the business that they have. I saw business cards already being exchanged. Great. But what you're doing right there is you're not putting the person before the profession, you're putting your business before everything else. And that's not what this is about. I want us to be very intentional with what we're doing here. We're going to put the person before the profession. I want you to do everything you possibly can to not talk about your business. And I know it goes completely against everything that you should be doing, but I want you to just stay with it because business is going to come up. But if all we do is talk about business, then we don't have that personal connection. Because if I'm going to refer somebody, I better have a personal relationship with them. Just like Kim did with, what's the young lady in the back called? Say again? Kim Manning, right? Because he has a relationship with her there, and he's promoting her because of the human being that she is. So what we're going to dive into is how can we put the person before the profession in that opening question to stay away from. This is a game I truly play. I do my best to avoid asking the question, so what do you do? And I also play the game where somebody asks me what I do. I avoid telling them what I do for the first few moments because I intentionally want to build a relationship. I want a human connection. So this is what's going to happen. The person with the shortest hair is going to ask the person that has more hair. And if you're both bald, we're going to go to facial hair. And obviously one bald person here in the two. And this is what's going to happen. This is the question you can ask if you are the initiator of the conversation. Ask a best question. And the best question is as simple as possible. What if it's at this point of the day, we're about halfway through, what's been the best part of your day? Today is Wednesday, we're on hump day. What's been the best part of your week? We're into the beginning of spring. What's been the best part of your spring? Before we go a little bit further, like, oh my God, it's May, we're halfway through. What's been the best first half of your year? It is the best question. It could be any kind of a best question. And what's awesome about asking this question is you want to ask the question and then you want to watch and observe the person. Because they're going to do one thing immediately. Their eyes are going to kick up to the side and they're going to think about, that's a really good question. And then they're going to tell you a story of what has been the best part of their day. And then all you need to do is lean in and be curious and ask a follow-up question. So I'm going to literally put 4 minutes on the clock. Your goal, the person with the shortest hair is ask the person with the longest hair a best question. And the person with the shortest hair is going to keep leaning in and being interested in the other person. And your goal is to keep focus on the other person, the person with the long hair, to keep them talking for 4 minutes about something personal. Okay? And let's be clear. Let's be clear. Personable, not personal. Not personal. I don't want your deepest, darkest secrets. Do not start unpacking that Pandora's box. That's not what this is about. Don't do that. We want to get personable with each other. Okay. So the person you connected with, make eye contact real quick. Identify who's got the shorter hair. I know we see you guys, right? Okay. So I'm gonna set you loose. You guys all ready? You guys all ready? Okay. 4 minutes. The person with the shortest hair is going to ask the best question. Keep focused. Ready, set, and networking. All right. Let's unpack this thing. How would it feel being asked, I'm talking to people with longer hair, what would it feel like to being asked a best question? What would it feel like? Fun. What was fun about it?
It wasn't your typical questions that you get with the networking where you're like, oh God, I don't want to leave, this is so boring. Like it really is engaging. It makes you think about fun things.
Excellent. And as the person asking the best question, What was it like? I'm looking at you. What was it like to then step in and lean in and keep the focus on the other person by asking follow-on curiosity questions?
It was awesome because I got to see her face light up, and the whole energy change instantly right up. Yeah, it's fun.
So this is what happens neurologically when somebody shows interest in us. It floods that other person with dopamine, that feel-good chemical release that the brain gives us. And because you're doing this in this moment and you're giving them this sensation, all this dopamine, it starts leading them to trusting you even more. Because you're listening to understand. We've all heard, that you listen to understand, but yet we are a society that is so focused on listening to reply. That's where that question comes in. Like, so what do you do? That is a question that I'm going to share with you and tell you what you do, but what you're really doing is you're waiting for your chance to be able to tell the other person what it is that you do. It's the same reason why we don't remember each other's names. It's because we're so busy in our heads trying to think of, well, I got to say my name next. My name is, and you say your name, you don't remember the other person's name. When you intentionally get into a conversation, where you ask that question, and then you lean in and you hold that focus for 4 minutes, that person is going to like you. You still have so many more questions.
So many more questions.
So many more questions.
Like 5 or 6 minutes.
Exactly.
It's very interesting. I love this.
And that interesting piece would not have happened if you would just be like, this is my job, this is what I do, this is how, because that's not how, we've got jobs, yes, but there's so much more about us. There's a whole person here. Ryan and I were sitting here, and I asked him what was the best part of this week, and he's celebrating 24 years of marriage.
Yeah.
After a 34-year-long relationship. There's so many questions. You guys have questions for him as well. And here's
And I'm only 40.
He's only 40 years old. He's 10 years old. They met at Disneyland. He reached across somebody else tapped her on the shoulder, goes 17 years old. But there's so much more. This is what creates memorability as well, is when we take intention to create that space to ask that best question and then lean in and we start getting these nuggets of information. That's what creates memorability. That's what we want to have out of a networking event. It's not just handing out business cards. I was at a networking event. This is literally what happens. It's probably happened to you as well. I'm having a lovely conversation. Yeah, you all done with me?
No, I'm here.
I saw the answer question. Yeah, you can hang out.
I'm here for you.
Give it up for Ryan, everybody. Give it up for Ryan. If you've done this before, you'll never do this again. I'm at a networking event, I'm having a conversation with somebody, and then somebody else steps up and they're like, ooh, you guys look like you're having a lot of fun. I like having a lot of fun too. Here's my business card. Here's my business card. We should talk sometime. And then they just walked in between us and kept on going. What would you do with that business card? Throw it away. Because that's not the kind of person who I want to do business with. I want to do business with, I'm going to hear it again, the people we know, like, and trust. So create the intentionality from the very get-go by getting the knowing, liking, and the trusting cemented. And by asking that best question and intentionally holding that space. What's going to happen is, at some point, they're going to start to short circuit a bit because you're so intentional by asking really thoughtful and kind questions. And they're going to short circuit, like, this is too much focus on me. And what's going to happen is they're going to break their pattern, and then they're going to ask you, so what do you do? I've intentionally moved into a space to get to know, like, and trust. Now they're going to ask me this question, what do you do? This is a golden opportunity to not talk about your business. This is a golden opportunity to talk about why you do what you do. Move away from my name is, my title is, my business is, and move more into a realm of why you do what you do. And the best way that I can explain this is through a story. So I'm at a networking event like this. And networking, we can all agree, it feels a lot like we're kind of judging, right? And we judge ourselves more than we really should be, but we're also judging everybody else. It's our human nature. It's how we've survived for as long as we have. So I'm at a speed networking event, which is speed judging. Right? And then I'm the person who is sitting, so it's just this carousel every 4 minutes of just new judgment, more new judgment. And I'm sitting there, and then there's a person walking towards me, and I am judging him unfairly. I judge his face, I judge what he's wearing, I judge the way that he walks, I judge the way that he sits down. Judge, jury come in, the verdict, this guy's a cop. We've all seen cops, we know what they look like, this guy's a cop. And he reached across the table, he could not have been more kind. He reached across the table, he's like, hi, my name is Sam.